Hello, good morning teachers and viewers, nodal officers and other officials who have been taking part in this FLN program. My dear friends, and this is a program that organized Department of School Education with the great support of our beloved Secretary Garu and Director Garu and SCRT team. And we have here to support you on the field in a way how best and we can go forward with this FLN program. I think this is something very special program that it has been designed to support in the form of material. That is a wonderful thing, that how the learning is taking place in a different pace with the TLM, that is teaching learning material. And that should be an interactive level. And we have come here to talk about how we are going with this English at primary level, and to discuss on the panel my friends, and to my left Neeraja, and she is a government St. Peter's School primary school teacher and practicing teacher, a resource person too. And beside her you can see Blandina, and she is also very good practicing teacher, and she works at government primary school for boys at Tadibanda. And extreme left, and 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝗁𝗂, she is also teacher working at girls primary school, 𝗬𝗳𝗏 Charminar Mandal. So here today the program is, and all the sessions of subject wise we have been taking up here, the English and how you are going to use this interactive material and the form of teaching learning material to support our regular classroom practices. You know that teacher is always a teacher, no alternative for teacher, but teacher has some support system in the form of TLM that should be in tune with the existing academic standards and learning outcomes, how best we can go with this. So, my dear friends, here we are here to discuss, to sensitize you, to give some thought, to think about, to work on how best you can make yourself in making the TLM where the class is going to be very attractive. And basic question is why the TLM is. This is a very important thing that we need. And the TLM is something, it is beyond the textbook. Sometimes it is related to the textbook also, but really it attracts the children attention. If you prepare some item, in the form of teaching aid, it attracts the children attention, and it even speeds the learning also, because some images, some sort of pictures make the children to think more and more and to connect their experiential world. So that this is a wonderful thing where we can go with this speed of learning, and where we make them to think more and more. It provides the scope for hands-on experience also, because we give some three-dimensional pictures, some items that they can touch and feel in a form of manipulative. So it really makes an hands-on experience, and how they go into this system of teaching learning process. And of course, it is really enhances the retention, because at the end of the day we need a retention also for that purpose, and really it enhances the retention. Beyond this, again, the activity is going to be enjoyable and ease and stress-free environment also. With the support of this TLM we can make it. So this is something about the TLM is how it is very important in the process of teaching learning every day. So what should we have in the form of TLM? That's also very important, because whatever we got something, it doesn't mean that in the classroom that we have to put, but it should be very appropriate and suitable for that. It should be basically, there are big questions. It should be very interactive. When you look at this, that should be interactive in mode. I mean, that particular thing really makes us to have a child, when child happen to see that, automatically that should interact something, that should pose some questions, and it makes the child to think something. This is one, and it should address at, that at multi-level also. So it should address at multi-level and sometimes in multi-grade also, because this is a very important thing, that we need to go with this multi-level and multi-grade, and the TLM should address these problems where we have around us in our day-to-day teaching learning processes. It cater different subjects also, and this is also very important, and it should be, because here at primary level, and we also connect the things to other subjects also, and that should be in a mode that where we can easily connect to other subjects and other themes also. So for this purpose, and it should connect the different subjects and easy to make, and this is very important. Generally, in the name of TLM, we should not waste the money. It should not be more costliest one. It should be cost effective, and it's no cost and even the low cost also. So it is a way that we need to use the TLM. So in English, and let's come to this English part now. What are the, English classes, what sort of TLM are needed here? That's also very important. What generally we use in picture cards, we use the picture cards and letter cards and masks and the picture cutouts and authentic material and the story cards, gaming material and newspapers and magazines. All these are the material that we can make use, and it's very important. It doesn't mean that we have lot of material, every material is useful for the classroom process. No, don't be hasty in that area, and be selective, and how you are going to connect this material to your teaching learning process to get learning outcomes and through the set academic standard. This is very important. We should not go beyond it, because it doesn't mean that children do not have, if nonsense kind of thing, if you stuff in the classroom and it doesn't work out in the process. So be careful about it, and this is a way that we need to go with this. And now, especially that we have to have, and what are the limitations for our classroom situations, class 1 to class 5. And first of all, let's focus on this picture interaction. And this is also very important. Actually, picture interaction is the beautiful, very basic discourse that we always envisage and we always talk about, we always promote in the classroom situations. Really, this is the first one where we elicit, we make the children to think, and we can easily channelize their thoughts to one part. This picture interaction is very important for that. Now, our panel teachers, members are going to talk about that very clearly. It's going to be very good explanatory so that you can make use this. And picture to text, this is very important. We go with this picture, and from the picture again we switch over to the text. That's also very important. At the end of the day, text is very important for us, and it is the multi-grade material also, because it should address the multi-grade level. Of course, we are going to have this reading segment also that we are going to do, because the reading is also very important thing in our classes, class 1 to class 10, class 5, especially 3rd, 4th and 5th. It's also very important. We are going to address the reading segment also. And finally, as we have in academic standards, and that is a grammar and vocabulary. And we are going to have these kind of things, and these three very practicing teachers are going to discuss regarding all these things, and how best we can go with the picture interaction and the picture to text, and especially multi-grade material, that how best we can make use, and the reading segment, how where the material can be used in the reading segment area to have to do the right comprehension and the reading ability, and finally vocabulary also. So in this way, we are going to have this session with the three wonderful teachers with us. Now first I request the Neeraja, who is going to talk about the picture interaction, how best we can make this. Over to you, Neeraja.
Thank you, sir. So picture interaction, as we all know, it is called the mother discourse. Why is it called the mother discourse? Because the children, where their innate ability to acquire a language is brought out basically through picture interaction. What are our target discourses? We are getting them out, or we are trying to achieve those target discourses using picture interaction. Let it be a description, let it be a conversation or a story or many other things. So basically, picture interaction gives scope for the teacher as well as students to explore the areas where the innate abilities of the children to acquire language can be brought to light. So here I am with a picture interaction process, and also how we can bring in TLM to the picture interaction in our classrooms.
In Nirja, we have picture interactions in our classroom, I mean textbooks, Is that same thing that you wanted to have an innovative idea to make more interesting for the children?
Yes, sir. I'm going to show it in a bit different way.
Okay.
First, let us have a look what we do normally in our classes. Then I'll try to give it a bit modification to the picture interaction. Now, if we see picture interaction, what are the basic things we do in the picture interaction? Are like first we will show the picture.
Yeah.
Pose questions,
yes.
Try to elicit answers from the children,
yeah.
Then write them syllabically on the board, stressing only the syllables,
yes.
not the letters,
yeah.
And then we will try to construct a discourse. This is the usual process we do, showing the picture that is available in our textbooks.
Right.
Here I am taking the picture from the textbook only, but I am trying to do the things in a bit different way. Now, if we see, first we usually what we do is just now I told you, and now please let us have a look at the picture here. A teacher can make a picture like this. This is a background picture, and in this background we will teacher should ask the questions like what are the things you see, and name the things you see, like there are huts, there are mountains, clouds, birds, trees. These are the different answers children will give. And when the children respond, then we have to write those answers on the board syllabically again. Now, after interacting on this basic background, we can bring in some dynamic material into the picture. Now, say for example, I will ask them a question. Now, what is this background about? I mean, looking at this picture, after transacting the whole picture, the children will get an idea that this picture is, it is a village background picture. Now, then we can question them. Who are the different persons, professionals you find in villages? Then, depending upon the answers, you can bring in the pictures. So, if I ask, who are the persons? So, first name usually comes to our mind when we say village is a farmer. So, I can say, yes, farmer. Now, you see, here a farmer is here. So, what is he holding? What does he do? I can interact on farmer with children. Then I can make them, to make it more interesting, I'll pose one more question, like who else will be there in the village? Maybe they'll come up with some answer. Then if it is a potter, then I'll paste the picture of a potter. Then I'll talk about potter.
Yeah.
Then what is the thing he is using here, a potter's wheel, what does he make, and all those things I can talk about potter.
Right.
Then let us see, I can also bring in some person like this, some professional. I can put here and I'll ask, who is he? Instead of asking them to guess again and again, yeah. I can put, I can paste the picture and I can ask directly. Now tell me, who is he? Then he is a cobbler. Oh yes, he is a cobbler. What is he doing here? He is mending the shoes. So, whom for he is mending? Can we guess? He might be mending them for a person.
Standing near him.
Yeah, he is standing near him and he is waiting for his shoe to be mended. Then, who else do you find in villages mostly? Maybe a fisherman. See, so in this way, I will ask different questions and I will bring in different professions and I'll talk about those professions in detail. He is a carpenter here, he is a shepherd, fisherman, like this.
Nice.
Now, while transacting this picture and while interacting with them, I will elicit the answers, write them on the board.
Oh.
Now, actually this is a packet.
Do you make any, I mean, paragraph or sentences using this picture interaction?
Yes, sir, we do make, because for making that description, I will sort them out into naming words, and I'll sort them out into, I mean, differentiate between this naming words and action words, and I'll make the children use these words in different columns as we do in bridging gap pictures. Then I will ask them to make sentences relevant to the picture.
This is really wonderful activity, because generally human brain works from whole to part. Now she has brought a big, I mean, broad picture, and then she narrowed down to a person, a place, or things. And this is a wonderful area where children really, we can channelize their thoughts towards this picture description, where the innate language can be used for the construction purpose. Thank you very much. And do you have any other items to show?
Yes, sir. In this, what I would like to add is, this actually is the background picture, where this I made out of packing paper, and this village background picture can be used for different classes in different units, sir. That I am going to share the slide. Which class and which page numbers we can use this, I am going to share through a slide. And I am also like made two different backgrounds here. One is tree. Just this is a basic tree. See, in the in class 4 we have bee reading, monkeys go fasting. For that you can hang pictures of monkeys and all here, some bananas, and then you can interact on that picture. You can transact that picture also, and there are, I'll share that also. And then here it is a picture of a road, very simple thing, and using this background also we can transact certain pictures that are given in our textbook. Okay.
So we need to make the cutouts kind of thing,
Yes, cutouts you should make, cutouts of objects and characters, and whenever the scene changes, whenever the context changes, you should bring in those objects and characters here and paste them accordingly. While interacting with the children, you can paste those objects and persons here, and desired discourse can be constructed.
Thank you. Really, it's a wonderful idea that I think teachers have understood this, and you will put into action, I hope. And this is a wonderful thing. Where we have picture description is a very, very important area that where we need to address the children to construct their language. I hope, and this would be very useful for you. And I hope the Neeraj is going to show something differently at the next slot.
Yes, sir. Let me first share where the background picture village can be used. These are the classes, and also I have quoted some page numbers where picture of village as a background can be used, and background picture road can be used in class 1, class 2, class 3, like that. Just beside the class, I have mentioned the page numbers also. And this is picture of tree, background picture of tree, wherein again the classes and page numbers are mentioned. As you can observe, if you take just a tree here, so many pages can be covered in primary English, sir. Just if you take a picture of a tree in the background, as you can look at the slide, so many pages can be transacted. So this is how we can bring in a slight change in transacting the picture in the class, sir.
The support of TLM.
Yes, sir.
So it's more interactive in nature.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I also have how we must go for, because there is a question from many of the teachers. It is very easy for the children to identify pictures, but when it comes to reading, textual reading, children are lagging behind. So how best we can try to make children read the text? So for that, we have made these cards, which are in sets of 3, I must say. Let me show you 1 or 2 cards as an example. Now see, this is a card. This is a, what is this? Can you guess? So children will definitely say this is a brinjal. Now here, as you see, there is no name, only picture. Now, in the next set of cards, we have picture as well as
text.
Name. That is text.
Yeah.
And in the third set of cards, we have only the name.
Right.
Now, these cards will be mixed, we can make as per the unit or as per the requirement of the teacher. Yeah. She can make and mix these cards together, wherein now the children will first identify this, then we can ask the children to find out the one with the text, then they will find out this.
Good. Look at the camera and talk to teachers. No?
Yes. So, this first they will find out the picture, then they will identify this picture and they will try to associate the word brinjal with the picture. Once this practice is done, we can go for, we can ask them to bring in the word directly. So, while playing with this, this is a very stress-free activity, sir, where children themselves go and search for the words and pictures and all. So, this can be given as group activity, and when the teacher is handling the other classes, teacher is to engage the class which the teacher is not addressing at that point of time, you can give this activity to engage the children.
Which classes are suitable? For this kind of thing, It's a low level, the class 1 and class 2?
This is mostly for class 1 and 2, sir. But if the children are, if the teacher thinks that they need some improvement, they can use these things for class 3, 4 and 5 also. But basically, because the reading should begin at graphical reading and this association and all should begin at first and second, these cards I made are catering to needs of class 1 children.
Very good, nice.
Yes.
Now, can I ask you something, any sample kind of the material for teaching at multi-grade and multi-level? Do you have any material with that? No? Because that's a very important area where we need to address.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, I have a chart with me. This is also a multi-grade, multi-level.
Yeah.
In this card, as you can see, the name says, let us play, get, set, go. Yeah. Now, if you display this chart in front of all the classes or single class, you can give n number of activities using this chart. As you see, these are different words. So, after displaying this chart, teacher can give a task like list out the words that begin with J. Now, they can find J, jump, like that. So, to find out those words, they must go through the whole chart and they will identify those things.
Right.
For children of classes 3, 4 and 5, you can give the question as classify them into vegetables or the things we use or vehicles or animals, okay, like that. Depending upon the level and grade, you can use this chart in any way they like.
My question is, this can be used for this others, subjects like environmental science and for other things, because this is also very important how best we connect it.
Yes, sir. Yeah. That also can be done because at the primary level, language is, integrated in EVS and EVS is integrated in language. Yeah. So, they can be brought in, basically. Of course, these words here may not completely go with EVS, but we can also add more words related to EVS and make a different chart and use that for both language and EVS and also mathematics, we can say. You can say, how many words are there like that. Yeah. Those subject teacher will have a better idea how to use it. Yeah. So, there can be n number of questions framed with this. Yeah. Can you find the words where there are double letters? So, you can say doll, bell, I, like that. Yeah. So, this is how it is made, sir. To address the needs of teachers where they are addressing multi-grade and multi-level.
Thank you very much, and you have got very good material and it's wonderful and innovative. And really, I hope the teachers would make use of all those things. Thank you very much. And now, we have another very dynamic teacher, Blandina, as already I have mentioned. She's practicing teacher and a resource person. She has come with some material because she's going to talk about you how the reading segment can be addressed at primary level. I hope and you'll be also enjoying that. Over to you, Blandina.
So, we have seen how picture interaction goes in class and how lively it can turn out to be if the teacher plans well. So, moving to the next segment, we have reading segment. We know that in all the classes, every unit has A reading, B reading and C reading, and this reading text is again divided into segments. In our pedagogy, we have divided the reading text into segments or breakups. It's a small chunk or few passages. So, today we will see how we are going to transact this reading text in a classroom and how well we can make use of the TLM which is not completely demonstrative, but we shall see how we can make it more interactive. And many a times we hear teachers telling that for reading segment what TLM can be used. It's really difficult. So, let's look into all of this. Before that, I would like to tell you, remind you in fact the micro steps involved in reading, a reading segment. Whenever you take a reading segment, what are the steps we follow in the transaction? So, you see on the screen, first every reading segment has a picture. This picture has to be interacted, or you elicit responses from children. You ask them what they can relate to from their experiential orbit, and we can elicit few words. All this will be useful in comprehending the reading text. Then we have individual reading, collaborative reading, we have scaffolded reading. At the end, we have reading aloud by the teacher, followed by reading aloud by students. These are the steps we use in our pedagogy while transacting a reading segment. So, today we shall see how children will find it easy to comprehend a passage. So, I have a book with me. This is 4th class textbook. So, we shall take one reading segment, page number 62. So, today our class is reading segment from page 62. From here, what's wrong? He gets severe headaches too, but all the camels have gone with the caravan. This is the reading passage we have taken. So, first of all, when you select a reading passage, the teacher should be very clear, like how the children are going to comprehend. Are you targeting only the children to read the complete text? That's not true reading. Reading is really done when it is comprehended well. Every sentence, every line is understood by the children. So, when you select a subtext like this or a text like this, you have to prepare a subtext for it. Subtext is nothing but certain vocabulary which will help the child to comprehend the whole passage. So, teacher should be aware what are the words, what are the keywords, what are the vocabulary they need to understand in beforehand, so that the text is comprehended well. So, in this text I have taken few words. We will see on the screen the words there. So, from this text I have selected words like pouch, map, veil, caravan and tent. So, these are the words I felt children should know beforehand for them to comprehend well. So, to make them understand these words, to get them to the meaning, the correct meaning of the words, for this subtext I have prepared few cutouts like this with pictures. This would be a veil, pouch, tent, caravan and a map. So, using pictures like this, we can easily help children to understand. Sometimes they may not be able to understand if you use words or phrases to explain them. A picture will do a good job. In subtext, you also can use some words. These are the words actually, these are the words actually we have planned for. So, you can always give an explanation like this also. If you think you want to explain map, so you can always give an phrase like this, a diagrammatic representation of an area. So, few words are explained using phrases. Few words can be explained using a picture. See, if I want to explain caravan, it is out of the experiential orbit of a child. So, more than expressing it in words, the child gets a clear understanding of it when we show a picture. There are some words.
Glandina, just a minute, because
yes.
you have shown pictures and some phrases also. Is it only the explanation or something you need to interact with the children to make them understand?
Yes.
How best what is your strategy to interact with children to understand it? It's not a picture and phrase that you have shown.
Yes.
Do you have any other strategy?
Sometimes it so happens that you casually interact with children, take them into their experiential situations also, or we can tell our own situations. Situationally also, you make them understand few words.
Yeah.
So, subtext can not only be phrases, it can be pictures, sometimes it can be objects like this. See, this is medicine. I can as well draw this on a chart, but it is very easy if you carry this to the school and show. Child knows it, but he doesn't know the term medicine. Maybe you can tell it in mother tongue, mandulu, tablets, syrup, all this they know, but the term medicine may be quite new to them. So, things like this will make it much easy. I have one more here. There is a word pouch in the comprehension. So, pouch is a word which is very difficult for a child to understand. If you just say pouch, he may not understand. I brought a simple one like this with some coins in it. So, this is a pouch. It is a small bag. So, things which are easily available in the environment around us can be brought into the classroom. Things which can be explained with some situations should be done in that way. Things which are out of the experiential orbit can be shown through pictures. So, subtext is an area where teacher has to plan beforehand so that she will sensitize the children with the vocabulary she thinks are necessary for comprehending the passage. This is where the teacher should make use of ILM. Not only a demonstrative TLM, it should be interactive. You can interact with a child using all this, not only telling them the names.
That's what I was talking about now. How best we can make them interact?
Yes, not only the name.
Yeah.
You can ask them what it is used for. Yeah. Do you have one at home? What kind of pouch do you have at home? What do you use it for? Yeah. Have you ever seen it? Things like that. If you have something like this, when do you think people cover their face like this with a veil? So, interactive, this is more of interactive. Once you give it to children, they have so many things to talk about this. Yeah. So, this is how the language production takes place.
You wanted to connect them to the real world,
Yes,
good.
To their real experiential world. If you connect, the retention is very high.
Right.
So, this is how a teacher has to plan for the subtext. Then later you go for individual reading, you go for collaborative reading where children are sitting in groups and each student takes turn to read a sentence. After this comes scaffolded reading. In scaffolded reading, again it is the role of the teacher which is important. We know in our pedagogy, teacher does not read line by line or sentence by sentence and explain it to the children. That is not a pedagogy. The child is given with the passage and they are given some time to read in groups and then comprehend it. Here the role of a teacher is only a facilitator. Teacher is always a facilitator here, and scaffolded reading is a tool where teacher poses questions to the children, and through answering these questions will make the children comprehend the passage. So, it is a big role on the part of teacher how well you plan this step of scaffolded reading. So, let us see how we can make use of the TLM here to do the scaffolded reading. So, as mentioned, scaffolded reading has questions posed by teacher. So, what kind of questions a teacher needs to pose? You have what questions, why and how, when, where. For all these, you have the answers directly in the passage. So, directly children find out the answers from the passage. There are also questions where a teacher can ask why. Maybe the answer is not there direct written in the passage, but the child will be able to answer only when he comprehends and only when he understands the meaning between the lines. In this passage which we have taken, there is one question saying, I would like to focus, why was the father cheerful? So, the answer is not there in the text. So, the child can answer it only when he understands the passage well. So, the answer to that question would be, the father looked cheerful as he was feeling better that day. The previous day he was sick. So, today he was feeling better. So, that made him cheerful. That is not written in the text.
Yeah.
But teacher should make sure to pose such questions which will help them to link up the previous day and today's text and also read between the lines. There are another category of questions which are extrapolative questions. Here we ask children to speak beyond the text. So, here is a question to explain an extrapolative question. If given a pouch, for what will you use it? So, this has no answer in the textbook. After reading the passage, the child understands the content and how the pouch was used in the story. Then he relates it to his own experience and says, if given a pouch, how will I use it? Maybe you can use the pouch for money, you can use it for medicines as in the lesson, you can use to carry your candies. It's this way. So, scaffolded reading becomes very boring or monotonous if the teacher starts asking questions and the children have to reply. Instead of that, let us take it in a different way. So, today I have two boxes here. One box has questions, the other box has answers for these questions. So, in a game, we make children sit in groups. They are sitting in groups and you give these two boxes to a group, and suppose 3 children are looking into the questions. They have to find out the answers from this box. They can take the help of the textbook, they can take the help of their friends, and then they find the answers for the questions given.
It should be walked in a groups, it seems, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
It becomes interactive when given in groups.
Nice.
Children try to ask each other. Sometimes they don't understand the question. Maybe somebody who knows the question can help the child understand it. Sometimes you know the answer, but you don't express it properly. So, when you look at these answers already written, he can put it in a proper sentence. So, this is how you can make it a game, you can make it more interesting, you can make it interactive also, and there are some answers, it is given this way. So, it is an open-end question and an open-end answer, where I use a pouch for whatever he uses it. So, this can be a game.
That's a good. And how finally you make them understand the language and produce some discourse, you know, finally, because we need to have the discourse to be produced, to produce, and after this game, what is your strategy to produce a discourse? And that is...
Yes. So, before answering that, sir, I would like to tell, sometimes there are situations in classroom where children don't respond.
Yeah.
Because they don't either understand you or they cannot put it in English.
Yeah.
These are the two areas where children keep silent and they don't come out with their answers. In such situations, maybe it's the responsibility and the role of the teacher to use mother tongue here and there, so that the key vocabulary is understood or the situation is understood. You can also use code mixing and code switching also. Encourage them to speak at least in mother tongue, those children who are very silent and not able to come out of their shells, and then you can again megaphone those words.
Yeah,
so
English.
This is how you make your classroom, your children very comfortable for them, and then they start enjoying. So coming to your question, sir.
Yeah.
We'll stick specifically to this reading segment only. So another way is, here I have picked up 6 sentences. I have put them in different colors. Actually, these sentences are given to the children and they are supposed to read these sentences and they have to arrange them thematically. So here, lot of thinking goes on, lot of understanding goes on. If they are doubtful, they go back to the text, they refer to their friends. Some says this is correct, some says no, see in the book this sentence came. So they understand that and put it thematically. I have already put it on the chart. You can ask the children to write them in their notebooks or present it on the blackboard. This also can be given as a group activity. This becomes a short story.
Yeah.
This can also be a description. This can also go with conversations. It all depends on the teacher, how you use your resources. So, reading segment should never be boring. It should be very interesting, because once you read, once you understand, then you'll begin to enjoy the content there. So, this is how a discourse also can be produced in groups. Initially in the groups, then later on, when the children feel comfortable, they feel good at language, then you can convert it into individual activity.
Do you have any strategy of editing, using this kind of thing, and do you have in your mind, because I'm not sure that you brought those things,
yeah.
But anything at the back of your mind, how best we can make use editing through this, these activities, using TLM?
Yes. For suppose, we use this only as the product.
Yeah.
The child has given us.
Right.
This is the child's write-up.
Right.
And you want to edit this.
Yes.
Editing should be made very interesting. So, many teachers, sorry to say, neglect the part of editing, and we give the correct version then and there, saving our time.
Right.
Children really will enjoy this. I'll tell you how. These are only suggestive activities. The teacher is always free to use their own creative methods. So, coming to editing, suppose we have the sentence, his father was ready for another journey. We want to edit this simple sentence. We can break this into words. His father was ready for another journey. Write them on simple cards. Okay, simple cards like this. Each child is given a card.
Yeah.
For example, there are 6 children and 6 children are holding cards like this. These 6 words make a sentence. Remember, how the child wrote, in that same sequence you have to arrange them. Then, now you start the process of editing. First, we look for capital letters. Are there any capital letters? Is it written correctly in the beginning? If not, ask them to change. So, the person who is there, suppose it's if this is the beginning word and this is coming with a lowercase m, it has to be a capital. So, we replace this child with a child who has written correctly. So, we have to check first for the capitals, then coming next to the endings, full stops, then comes the commas, and in 5th class book also we have in a lesson the steps for editing.
You mean to say the placard should be on the chest of the children, and
yes.
so that you can, yeah.
If you just place it like this,
right, okay.
for a child, they'll enjoy. They feel it more, they feel happy the way they stand like that. It may be a simple thing for us, but for a child, as if something is happening in the school, I'm a part of it, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful
editing
idea.
stepwise take up editing,
Yeah,
and
so-
the end it is spellings.
Yeah, it's a good, wonderful thing, really, because we are moving, one by one slot, because first we went through this picture description, how best we picture to text, how we convert, and now later the Blandin has done regarding the reading, very important segment. Generally we neglect, and even sometimes, the reading is a very boring one. But if we really go with this supportive material, I hope, and it would be very nice, the wonderful activity. Now, very important again, finally, what we always focus on this, we have, in our this academic standards, a very important thing, the vocabulary and the grammar. How best we develop a vocabulary among the children, and what is the support of the grammar. Now, 𝗖𝗍 Naz is waiting for that, because she has brought some beautiful, TLM and interactive material, so that she wanted to share. And over to you, 𝗖𝗍.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We all know vocabulary is something very important. If children have good vocabulary, then framing of sentences becomes easy. When they are able to frame sentences, they are able to write it in a form of a paragraph. They may do it, they may frame a story, they may either write conversation or describe a picture. Vocabulary is usually, children develop vocabulary when they are exposed to more and more of reading. As my friend Blandina said, children should be exposed to this reading part. When they do individual reading or collaborative reading, scaffolded reading, they come across so many words. And if those words are very well transacted to the child, they know the meaning of that particular word, and they understand it as and when they get the word in the text. So, once they know the word, or if they did not understand, you can reinforce, you can make use of those words, you can give phrases to the child, and you can ask them what word is suitable. For example, you can take the case of meanings. If children has to know the meanings, if it is very well transacted through a picture or through some item, children understands it, and when you pose a phrase, they'll be able to tell you the word. For example, my friend Blandina, she has transacted a unit, 𝗬𝗎's desert journey, and she has used some of the words like caravan, whale. So those words, children become familiar, because we don't often use the word caravan or whale. So when they have seen those words, when they have come across those words in the text, vocab becomes very easy. Now, you can see on the screen that there is a model here prepared for the meaning's sake. Phrases are written on the cups. Like, for example, an area in a desert where there are water and plants, it is called as oasis. So they come across this word oasis at the end of the text. So they will be able to give the word oasis, and then you can ask the child to come and place it in that respective cup. There is a word, like she used the word cheerful. So happy, it means cheerful. So whenever teacher explains a particular word, they get it in their mind, but they may not be very well, they don't know the word actually. Like, for example, here, an instrument for finding out direction, it is a compass. Teacher may get the compass to the class and show them. So these are the new words which they don't come across. Here, false appearance. When you move in a desert area, people may feel that they are very close to an area where there is water. But once they go to that area, it is actually a sort of reflection because of the sun. They may find that it is water, but it is actually a mirror sort. So it's a mirage. So they come across these words. These words are not familiar to children. These words, a desert area, if you take the case, some teachers find it very difficult. 𝗬𝗎's desert journey, they say that it is one of a difficult text. But no, you can prepare children that, you all should have a camel. We are moving in a desert. You can show the picture of a desert. So let them feel that they are in a desert, how camel survives in a desert. What are the different words? Mirage, oasis, whale and caravan, pirates are the sea robbers. So you just make them familiar. Then reading the text again and again becomes more easy for a child. Now, in class 4, vocabulary part, we have the names of animals or birds and their young ones. This can be played in a form of an activity in the class. You know, you can ask them, have you seen a cat? Do you know what do you call it? You know, dog's young one, they may say it's puppy. So they may be familiar with few. You have few names of animals or birds and their young ones activity in their vocab part in the class 4 text. So you can, they may get familiarized, you know, if you reinforce it. So when you play it in a form of activity, the moment you come to the class, you may just remove all these and you may ask them, now you think of it, what is the young one of a dog called? You know, they may hunt for a word like similar word, maybe like for duckling, duck it is duckling. They may find few and may not be able to do it. So you may ask, so what is a young one of a sheep called? Foal. They may say it wrong. Then you can help them out sometimes, or if they put it in some other pocket, you appreciate them, the work they are doing is good, but then tell them the young one of a sheep is called as lamb. And mostly they know young ones of cat, dog. They this TLM you can make use in EVS also, because we have the names of animals and their young ones. We can use it for both the subjects. So if they play it in a form of activity, vocabulary should usually be dealt in the form of a game in the class. So they enjoy, they come to know new words, because these words again are used in the text. They have it in the text. In the form of reading segment part, they have so many words which they are using for the in the reading while reading. Now we have an activity here for the vocabulary part. Here there are some names written. We have compound words in class 5. Now there are some words written here, and there are some pictures written in the other. You know, Doraemon's eyes, we have words and pictures written. So child has to find out, he himself, you ask them to sit in a group and do this activity. They themselves will try to find out, you know, here butter is written, and they may search for the picture. So butterfly. So it becomes butterfly. This is butter which we eat, and this is a usual fly, a house fly. So butterfly, they get a new word. So words which are formed, you know, combining two different words, you get a word that is a compound word. So instead of just explaining them, let them sit in a group, let them find out what the activity is, and let them do it in a joyful way. We have a word here, rain, and they may not know the word bow, but you can say this is a bow. So they may try to find out rain and bow, rainbow. So there are many words written on one side and many pictures on the other side. So they do it in the form of an activity. Compound words, again wall and then clock, wall clock. So words which you get by combining two different words are called as compound words. So these are few activities. I hope all the teachers definitely they will use some TLM or the other to reinforce vocabulary in their classrooms.
So good. Now, compound words, regarding compound words, that activity that, I mean, the TLM that you have brought is a wonderful idea. Any other things that you wanted to show? Because yes, we have, you know, time is running out.
Okay. And we have in grammar part, class 5, in order to teach them or order to explain them masculine and feminine gender, there are few flashcards. You will just show them. What is this flashcard? They read the word and they say it's uncle. It's for class 5. What is this word? They say it is son, because they have come across these words in the class. In class 4 also. King. So king, uncle, son. What do they refer to? What do they talk about? Then you can say, they may say that all are men. Okay, all are men and male. So words which are used, to, address to male animals or men or boys, they are called as masculine genders. Then you can ask them to put it in a box on which it is written masculine gender. So masculine gender means words which are related to some male animals, men or boys, is called as masculine gender. So they can place masculine gender in that particular box. Then you can ask them to read the other words. Similarly, the other words like queen, lady,
Stop.
mother.
Thank you very much, for this program, and taking up FLN is a challenging one in the field, because now this is going in a moment way that where teachers have taken onto their hearts, and really they are doing excellent job on the field. But here this program is being organized from the department where to give some support, some extra support, the teachers, those who are working on the field. Really, all the teachers, all the subject teachers have come here to go with this, and they have done excellent job, and still more programs are going to be given to that. And I again ask the 𝗖𝗍 to continue her way of her part of presentation, please. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So as I said, sir, we have introduced children with masculine gender. Similarly, we can do it for feminine gender. We can tell them words related to women, female animals, or girls referred to as feminine gender. Then common gender. It is common for both. For example, we have the word here as doctor or teacher. It is common. We cannot make out whether we are talking about male person or female. Then we have neuter gender. Neuter means they are the things. We have laptop, we have fan, we have table, we have cupboard. So many words which are things. So you may, when you explain them in a group, then you can play it in a form of an activity. You may ask the children to come and place those words in the respective boxes, whatever you have arranged. So this can be dealt in the form of an activity. Then we have some, many children, they make mistakes in forming proper sentences. So in order to make them do well, this is for class 3, an activity of grammar part for class 3. They have to frame proper sentences, change the word order. Like for example, here it is written, a book has boy. So you may just ask them, is it proper? A book, boy, has and boy. So they may say that it is the boy has a book, or you can just ask them and, help them in correcting and forming the word. If you do this activity at least once or twice with every lesson, they will get used to it. And in future, when they come to class 4 or class 5 standard, they will not face difficulty. Then you, as Blandina said, for the editing of sentences, you may ask whether the capital letter is used or not, whether they have a full stop. Editing part can be done. So forming of sentences can be dealt this way. A very difficult material is not used. It's just a tissue roll which you can make use of, or you can use a stick and you can place the word and just change the word here and there so as to help them out in framing proper sentences.
Yeah. Thank you very much, 𝗖𝗍. Really, you have brought very valuable information along with the TLM. I think, you people, teachers have understood what her intention is. Really, all the teachers, those who wanted to make, in this way, you think about, in the framework of our LOs and academic standards and what the textbooks are saying. Only one, I have a request with you that don't go beyond the textbook. And the textbook has a limitation. And in the limitation, again, doesn't mean that you have to limit yourself. How your creativity makes you make them understand the children in terms of grammar and vocabulary, in terms of reading, especially in terms of picture description to begin with, and everything. I hope, all the 3 major areas we have covered in this with the 3 teachers, those who have been practicing for years, really wonderful thing. And I hope these thing is going to be useful for you on the field. Thank you very much and have a great day.